Hello everyone, the market continued falling like I said it would, but we are holding support. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the SPY, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the dollar, the VIX, the bonds, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. First things first, we know that this entire move to the upside right now happened primarily because of AI stocks and chips. So we're looking at right now is Nvidia. So we saw that yesterday Nvidia had a big gigantic move to the upside after already skyrocketing up, right? So this move to the upside became way too overextended, and as Nvidia did this, it pulled the rest of the NASDAQ stocks and everything else basically became extremely overextended to the upside. So that coupled with the fact, so Nvidia looking like this, coupled with the fact that other large tech stocks were also very overextended to the upside, that essentially made me very bearish. And then headed into today, right? Since yesterday was bearish and we had a very bearish reversal candle at levels of resistance on various tech stocks, I knew that today would also be a continuation to the downside and that we would be bearish for the majority of the day. We would be leaning short. That's exactly what ended up happening. So what we're seeing right now is Nvidia is selling off a bit, just reversing back to levels of support, and then essentially we're going to see if we get bounces. So this 370 area, especially what we're really looking at is the low of this Thursday, May 25th candle needs to hold a support. And if that can hold the support, then we can just continue going up higher. But right now, this is definitely, it looks pretty bearish. It looks like there still wants to be like another maybe 10 points to the downside before bouncing. But regardless, today was very easy because the day before we had a pretty simple reversal candle, right? So we saw Nvidia, same thing with AMD. So yesterday again, it was a very, very dramatic weakness after a high. So today, obviously, we continued lower. We can look at the rest of the tech stocks. For example, Apple. Apple didn't do that terribly, but once again, this is not a very bullish candle, and we didn't see extreme bullishness out of Apple to help pull the rest of the market up. So this was basically the rest of the chips were doing well, but Apple, because there's imbalance and just rebalancing, a lot of money held Apple up, and we never got we never broke below yesterday's low, which is a very, very big deal. We have a gap to fill at from this Friday, May 26th candle, the high at 175.77. So that's going to be a major level of support if we were to break below 176.50. So there's that on Apple. We could see Microsoft had a continuation to the downside, similar to Nvidia and AMD. We could see that Google also continued to the downside as well. And we know that Microsoft, Google, AMD, and Nvidia are all major players in the AI space. We could also take a look at Meta. So Meta fell very dramatically as well at the like obviously when we opened, but we had a bounce on Meta. And then same thing with Tesla. Tesla dropped very dramatically intraday, and then towards the end of the day, money basically flowed back into Tesla and out of the chips. So there's rebalancing going on into the tech sector, right? So that's why the biggest winners are a bit selling off, and like their money is flowing back into Apple, keeping that up, and Tesla at the moment, as well as Facebook. You could also take a look at Amazon. Amazon had another continuation to the downside. So overall, what we're seeing is the large tech stocks, as well as the NASDAQ, painted a very, very overextended candle yesterday, which is the reason why today we had a continued move to the downside. So immediately now, what we're looking at is, like yesterday, I was saying 347 was going to be major support on the NASDAQ. Below that, then we could see 344. So we still have not yet tested 344 yet. but 344 is going to be a major level of support for the NASDAQ. And then below that, then we could see 340 and 338. But so far, we had a down day, but things are still holding above support. So those are the levels that we need to watch for on the NASDAQ. We can quickly take a look at the IWM. Obviously, the IWM continues to trade within this range. We're holding above 173.62. What a surprise. And it was a big loser today. You could see that the biggest loser was the IWM. Then SPY was being held up, but the IWM was the biggest loser today, of course. So yeah, we're continuing to trade within this range. 172 is major support on the IWM. If we break below that, then we can easily see 170. So keep that in mind. And if we break above 177 on the IWM, we can easily see 180. So we're still trading within this range on the IWM. And before we continue, if you guys enjoy the content, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, put on the bell notification so you guys get subscribed whenever I post a new video. And please make sure to subscribe. I really appreciate all of your support, and I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. All right, let's get back to it. All right, next, let's go over the dollar. We know that the dollar has an inverse relationship to the market. So if the dollar is doing well, that's generally a very bearish sign for the stock market. So currently we know that the dollar is skyrocketing. It's doing very well. But pragmatically here, this is not a bullish setup right here on the dollar. So we need to see if the dollar can hold this level of support and continue going up higher. Because right now this is not the most bullish setup on the dollar. If this was a stock, I would be sort of wary and a bit bearish. So be careful. This is what I'm seeing on the dollar. All right, next, let's take a look at the VIX. We also know that the VIX has an inverse relationship to the market. If the VIX is doing well, then of course that means that the stock market is doing poorly. So right now the VIX is continuing to bounce off of this 17 level. It's held the 1750 level of support, and now it looks like we're continuing up higher. The VIX has resistance at 19. So we need to see if the VIX can break above 19. And currently the VIX is showing support, curling up. That is generally not a good sign for the stock market. So we're seeing some sort of support and strength out of the VIX currently. So last but not least, let's take a look at the SPY. So I was saying how 416.50 was major support on the SPY, right? We held that level perfectly. And then below that, I said that we would see 413 and then eventually 410 and 408. But we held 416.50 and 416.40 actually perfectly. And we showed weakness today. Obviously, it was a continued weak day, but things still held support. So now we need to see if the SPY can break back above 419.50. 419.50 is a major level of resistance on the SPY, and currently right now 416.50 is major support. Below 416.50, then we can easily continue to fall and then see 414, 413. Then below 413, we could easily see 410. So today was basically a day that it was pretty understandable why things happened, but things held support still. So now we need to see if we continue falling lower. We're seeing some strength out of the VIX. The dollar is still at highs. The large tech stocks still have more room to go to the downside, but we're starting to see strength out of Tesla and Apple. So things are pretty interesting right now. Again, for the overall momentum of the market, if on the daily chart we are weak, and if tomorrow we end up opening red, then we can lean short again intraday, as we did today. We just leaned short almost everything, and that's it. We just follow the larger time frame momentum and just trade alongside that momentum, and it's very simple. And overall, it was very easy, just shorting the first hour or two of the day, and yeah, just continue to do so. If we end up opening red, we can just lean short as well. But if we end up breaking above 419.50, or if we open green, then we can play alongside the support and go long. But regardless, 419.50 is major resistance on the SPY. Aside from that, we just have to see how everything else plays out, how into the end of the month and early this into June, how rebalancing and everything happens. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you.